Good evening, everybody. This is Pastor Paul from Two Shepherds Outreach. It's a little nonprofit that we're starting up with myself and Hector Martinez. Just wanted to say good evening. Most of you know me and know my background. I'm military and went to College of Biblical Studies. Uh, and through that, I was called to the ministry of working with trauma informed care with veterans that have PTSD, um, dealing with substance abuse, and other things like that. So that's a little bit about my background. I just wanted to say good evening, and this is going to be again one of our late night um, kind of first tries at getting maybe something going on as far as our message out, as the importance of what a lot of people don't realize is that when veterans come back, a lot of families don't realize the transitional point is really not only difficult for the soldier but for the family. A lot of people don't realize that a good portion of homeless are actually military veterans, and so um, one of the things that this nonprofit does is that we want to do is we want to get services to the families as well as the veterans and have life skills counseling peer to peer and work with these families and veterans, helping them to get on their feet and whatnot. And so, again, we're just now trying to get things started up. Myself and a couple other people. So any veterans that might be in the area that know me or know my background, that may want to get involved with a biblically based outreach, hey, hit us up. So if there are any questions, feel free to comment below. Definitely, we want to talk about the the challenges that we have in our community as far as transitional points from veterans being from one service to the civilian side. And so just wanted to go ahead and maybe start opening that up. So one of the things that I find interesting when it comes to military veterans and when they come out is the difference of social cues comparative to what is in service and comparative to what is appropriate outside of service. Um, there are a lot of stress factors that happen as far as like when you're in the military and what's expected of you. I mean, everything is accounted for comparative to being outside and what we call the civilian world. And so even transitioning into the workforce is a difficult because there are certain social skills as far as like what's appropriate. And so when you've kind of been doing it for so long, some veterans have uh, issues as far as like accountability or the not on their part, but more of what there's a higher expectation um, for the veteran as far as like how things would go because it's just um, a learned process or a learned skill, and just like everything else, when it's been drilled into an individual that it's the little details that can get you killed. Hence why you would probably see um, a lot of veterans come out that have they're more detail oriented, and those type of things would frustrate them because they want to make sure that everything is accounted for. Um, I definitely think that a lot of families forget that when the veteran leaves, um, this is a new individual. Um, a lot of the families forget that these veterans, when we leave, we're completely different person comparative to where we are now, and so definitely one of the things that I would love to hit on is not only to the veteran that needs those services, but also to the families to realize that this veteran, when Johnny left at 18 years old, when he came back, at 25, 30, or whenever, uh, Johnny is no longer what the family sometimes remember. And occasionally, sometimes the veteran will come back, but they're not really going to talk about, and you're not really going to see much of that transitional point on leave. But definitely, it would be after those contracts. Um, and so, families definitely, realize that, some of the things that you might be seeing with your veteran, not all veterans have these issues. May I say, this is just, again, social context, transitional points in which that I think that some families and um, a lot of veterans have. And what happens, the outcome of that is with these stressors, especially, not to say that there aren't um, any services out there that definitely reach out, because definitely the VA does. You've got Wounded Warrior. You've got all these fantastic services that are out there to help the veterans and their families. Um, but one of the things, again, that some organizations make cookies, some organizations make pancakes, and I mean that in the context of they may hit on certain topics or certain demographics of the military, because again, the military is our culture. All It's just that 1% of our culture. Um, Definitely for Two Shepherds Outreach, we definitely want to hit on the biblical forefront to families and veterans who might have more of a relationship to their faith in context to other services or other outreaches and whatnot that they may not be more on par with their worldview. Um, and so that's one of the things that we're starting up, and definitely want to hear some comments, concerns, any thoughts, any topic that you want to talk about. It could be biblical, it could be Q&A or whatnot. um, well, anyway, well, I guess we had a couple views. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just kind of a late night introduction. I'm Pastor Paul from Two Shepherds Outreach, and I hope to share more with you on what we're doing. I'll be getting married here pretty soon, so I'm super excited. Um, and God bless you, and I'll talk to y'all later.